You know who his podcast is on the other day?
Oh,
Teddy Atlas. Is that story with him and you true?
what?
He says he put a gun to your head.
I was 13 years
Yeah,
old.
when you're young. Is that a true story?
Yeah, but I'm 13. He put in a gun.
No, I
man.
know,
He's
I know.
He's really a big, strong man.
No.
Wait, you were 13 years old when you did
Yeah,
that?
he was 27, 28.
He was like an early trainer of yours, right?
Because he knew at 13 I would fucking smash him.
So I watched this clip of Mike Tyson today and it got me thinking. Mike Tyson is probably the only person on this planet who could confidently say that as a 13-year-old kid, he would smash a 27-year-old grown man and you don't even question it for a second. And then I got to thinking, I wasn't high. Could I imagine Mike Tyson being anything other than a fighter? And honestly, I could not. I can't imagine him being an accountant. I can't imagine him being a teacher. The way he looks, his facial structure, his voice, his demeanor, I can't imagine him being able to fit into society as anything other than a fighter. And then I decided to compile a list. I might have been a little bit high. And the list consists of two different types of fighters. Fighters that I believe were born to be fighters according to my hypothesis, and fighters that I believe were not born to be fighters. As I'm talking, I'm realizing that this might not make the best video, but hopefully it's entertaining. Alright, so since he has a fight coming up this weekend and he happens to be one of my favorite fighters ever, and it's possibly going to be his last fight, I'm going to make number one Nathan Diaz, Mr. 209 himself, Mr. Stockton Slap. As you all could probably guess, I'm not putting him into the category of the guy who is not born to be a fighter. To me, he is a person that I can't picture being anybody else at all. His attitude, the way he looks, his face, the fact that his face always looks scrunched up even when he's not trying to. You know, he's got that male RBF. It's hard to imagine him working at a bank or something, right? And just being this like passive nerdy guy like, I'm sorry, sir, about your withdrawal slip. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened. Sorry about that impression, but it's not something that you can even picture in your mind's eye. Now, the complete opposite of that would be Georges St-Pierre, who is a great athlete, an amazing athlete, but is definitely not a natural fighter in my opinion, right? I could easily picture him, you know, just driving like a Honda Civic, you know, getting those like triangle sandwiches from his wife, just going to work as a programmer or something. You know, making a clean 6 figures, living in the suburbs. Easy. I mean, if Georges St-Pierre never got bullied and never started working out, that would probably be his life. It's very easy to imagine, correct? I think so. All right, so the next guy to go into the category of people that were genetically meant to be fighters is Mike Perry. I don't think a lot needs to be said here. You know what I mean? All right, next normal guy, not genetically predisposed to being a fighter. Aljamain Sterling. Great athlete, great wrestler. I just don't think, you know, unlike Joe Rogan, I just don't think he has violence in his bloodline. I could easily picture him as like, you know, like a crossing guard or something, or like a janitor at your local elementary school, like a cool janitor. Like all the kids like, hey, Mr. Sterling, how's it going? Oh, great. Like, are those new ASIC shoes that your mom got you? Man, you're looking fresh today. That kind of vibe. Petr Yan, guy clearly, very clearly meant to be a fighter genetically. Look at him. Look at that face. You can't tell me that you didn't know a kid just like that growing up with that same exact face. You know what he looks like? He looks like one of those kids when your mom takes you to the flea market and he's one of like the vendor's kids, clearly not being watched, and he's just like playing with cherry bombs and just annoying everybody, but nobody wants to say anything to him because he looks emotionally unstable, as do his parents. And you know, as a kid, you're just trying not to make eye contact because you come from a good family, therefore you're soft. He's that guy. You know what I mean? Definitely genetically predisposed to be a fighter. All right, so this next one is going to be kind of a curveball because most people will probably think that I will put him in the first category, people that were genetically predisposed to be fighters due to his family heritage. But I won't. Tyson Fury. I know about the gypsy pride and the gypsy bare knuckle fights and the king of this and that and such, but just look at the guy. You can't tell me that this guy wasn't meant to be like a painter. You can't tell me that you can't picture Tyson Fury in a pair of overalls painting houses. I don't see any violence in his bloodline. I see painting. I see construction, general labor. You know, guy that was meant to be a fighter, Deontay Wilder. I know that before he started boxing, he was some kind of a truck driver for Pepsi or something. It's a little goofy to imagine this 6'6", you know, action figure looking dude delivering Pepsis or whatever. Do you guys see what I'm trying to say? Like, I know Tyson Fury is the better fighter, or rather he's the better boxer, but I feel like if this was like 1,000 years ago, like Deontay Wilder would be, he would just be more like I'd be more scared of him than a Tyson Fury, right? Because Deontay Wilder wouldn't be there to like outpoint you and out athlete you. He would just like erase you with one punch. Like, am I making sense? All right, last one. This is getting kind of stupid at this point. Michael Chiesa, surfer, painter, not of houses, of like paintings, artist, not a fighter. Kimbo Slice, clear cut, 1000% fighter, right down to every fiber of his DNA. And if not fighter, some other type of physical activity, like football, you know, security, something like that. But definitely can't picture him as like a cashier at like a Wawa or 7-Eleven or something, or I don't know, a pastor. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it and didn't find it too dumb. I enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.